You want to know why you haven't made a single dollar online yet? It's not because you picked the wrong business idea. It's not because you don't have enough time. And it's definitely not because you don't have enough skill. It's because of this. And until you fix this, nothing that you do from this point on is going to work. Here's how I know. I've helped over 1,000 people who are trying to start businesses, and the same thing keeps coming up over and over again. They all think that they need a better strategy, the perfect business to start, or more time in the day, when the reality is that none of that stuff matters until you fix this one thing. And in this video, I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to show you the real reason that you feel stuck and why overthinking is the gateway drug to every entrepreneurial killer. And most importantly, I'm going to give you a step-by-step framework on how to break free from it once and for all. Here's how we'll do it. First, I'm going to show you why stuck is just a feeling and not a fact. Then I'll give you 3 real-world examples from your own life that prove overthinking is keeping you trapped. And finally, I'll give you the exact steps that you can take today to shut down overthinking, escape from the prison of feeling stuck, and finally move forward. And no, I'm not just going to tell you, hey, stop overthinking. Duh, we already know that. I'm actually going to break it down for you and give you stuff that you can use. And just so you know where this is coming from, I literally lived this for years. I felt stuck in a corporate job for so long, like a prison. It's why this YouTube channel is called W2 Prison Break. I literally felt like I was in jail. And I was convinced that I just didn't have the time, or that I was never going to be able to break free, or that I needed the perfect plan. But once I learned how to kill overthinking, that's how I was able to break free. And now I help other people do it. I ran a poll inside of Mindset School recently, and we asked over 200 people, what is the number one thing that has been holding you back from starting your business? 50% of the voters chose overthinking. Like, this is literally the top thing that keeps people feeling stuck. And let me just say this about overthinking and this feeling of you being stuck, because it is a feeling. It is not a literal thing. It's a way that you feel. And we can change that. But when it comes to overthinking, that is you trying to plan your way to certainty, which is a fancy phrase for you're a control freak. And I was too. Let me give you the perfect example of what I just said. And most of you can relate to this because we've all planned vacations before. I planned a trip to Italy to ask my wife to marry me. And I took a month planning this thing. Like, I had spreadsheets, I bought books, like I was planning everything that we were going to do, like almost down to the minute. It got a little nutty. That was me trying to control the situation. That was me looking for certainty. And it didn't go the way that I planned. Even though it was an amazing trip, things didn't go the way I wanted to. We got on the wrong bus one day and we ended up 3 hours out of the way before we got to our final destination. And the funny part about that is that's the thing that we talk about to this day when we tell the story, not how everything else went to plan. It was, hey, remember when we got on the wrong bus? And that's life, but that's also business. Like, you're trying to plan your way to certainty. You are thinking that if I do more research, if I prepare more, that I'm going to have this guaranteed result, this certain outcome. But reality will always throw you something that you just didn't see coming, that you didn't plan for. The point isn't to plan perfectly. The point is to be able to adapt. And that's what you have to do in business, is you have to adapt. Just like when we took the wrong bus, like, we adapted and nothing terrible happened. And again, it's a story we tell today. It's a pretty valuable lesson. The second real world example where this shows up is everyone pretty much has a garage, or at one point you had to go clean out your garage, right? That's something that we avoid. When you walk into your garage, right? Maybe it hasn't been cleaned in 5 or 10 years, or in some cases 20 years. It can be overwhelming. There's boxes everywhere. There's tools stacked. There's old bikes. I mean, you stand in there and you're like, where do I even start with this thing? And you don't. So you close the door and you put it off for another 6 months or another year. And all of a sudden, 5 years turns into 10, then 20. That happens in business too. That's overthinking in business. You look at everything that you think that you have to do, which is to build a website. I got to figure out a niche. I got to design a product. I got to grow an audience. I got to do all this stuff. I got to learn sales and marketing. And it's so overwhelming that you just freeze. You feel stuck. That's where the feeling of stuck comes from. The truth in the garage scenario and the business scenario is that you don't need to clean the whole garage today. You just got to pick one box, open it up, and start there. And that momentum is going to beat perfection every single time. Okay, the last example, which everyone will get, is investing or retirement investing. And this one really hurts a lot because a lot of people will say, oh, if I had only invested in that stock 20 years ago, I'd have everything I wanted to, right? How many times have you said that to yourself? Like, I'll start my 401k later, or I'll start investing in the stock market later after the next raise when the market dips, right? And then 10 years go by and you overthought it to the moon and the delay cost you tens of thousands of dollars or maybe even more than that. Business is no different. Every single day that you overthink it instead of acting on it, the cost of waiting goes up. It stacks up. You don't just lose the money that you could have made. You're losing confidence, you're losing momentum, you're losing time, and time is the one thing you can't get back. And see how this works? Overthinking doesn't just make you feel stuck. It creates the stuck. Then it snowballs into procrastination, perfectionism, shiny object syndrome, imposter syndrome, fear of failure, whatever you are saying to yourself that's keeping you stuck. And that's why I call overthinking the gateway drug, because if you don't kill it, it will multiply into every other problem that you're facing. The funny thing about that poll that I ran is that the majority of people wanted to pick all of the above. And I had those other problems, those mental roadblocks on there, but I only gave them one thing to pick because that was the thing I wanted them to identify as the main thing that was holding them back so that we could address that and fix that. Because if you don't fix the thing that's holding you back, it doesn't matter what business you pick. It doesn't matter how much time that you have. It doesn't make any difference how much research you do or the perfect plan. Like, if you can't stop overthinking and make a decision and make a move, that's going to follow you along. That's going to carry its way into your business and you are doomed before you even start. So this is the thing that you have to fix. And I told you at the beginning of this video that I was going to give you some actual stuff that you could use versus me just saying, hey, stop overthinking. This is stuff that you can implement right now. And if you implement these strategies that I'm about to give you, you will be on the way to crushing overthinking and release yourself of this feeling of being stuck. If you don't implement them, then you'll continue to let overthinking and all these other roadblocks run your life and you'll never start a business. I said at the beginning of the video, this is why you're not making any money. It's because you're not addressing the thing that's really holding you back. You're looking at the wrong stuff and you can't spreadsheet your way into this, right? You need actual tools. You need tactics that you can use in the moment. And I'm going to give them to you right now. Number one, and this is probably the most important one, is to name it and shame it. Now, what do I mean by that? The moment you catch yourself spinning, say it out loud. I'm overthinking. That alone cuts the power of overthinking in half. Like, you gotta name it. You gotta label it, right? Write it on a Post-it note and slap it on your computer. Overthinking is me trying to plan my way to certainty. Make it your iPhone wallpaper. One of the more powerful things that you can do. You pick your phone up how many times per day and you see your screensaver. You can take that screensaver and use it to crush your overthinking problem because you're programming yourself. So if overthinking never works for me is your screensaver on your iPhone, then you will start to believe that it doesn't work for you. This is how you start to reprogram, because awareness is the first crack in the prison wall. And again, you feel like you're in this prison, you're stuck. And this is step number one. Step number two is to shrink the decision. Overthinking loves these big complex problems, so you have to shrink them. I go back to the garage example. If your garage is full of boxes, don't clean the garage. Pick one box. The same in business. Don't worry about the perfect website, your niche, your audience, and your product, and how to scale all at the same time. Just choose one. Email one person. Tell one person about your idea, outline the idea, publish one post. When the problem is smaller, your brain loses its excuse to freeze. Here's the third thing that you can do: borrow better voices. Here's the trap that most people fall into. I've done this and I've seen so many people do this. You ask for validation from the wrong people. You go to friends and family who would never start a business, and they're 9 to 5 lifers. They would never ever think about starting a business. And guess what? They tell you not to do it. And of course they would tell you not to do it. Business is risky. Why would you do that? Why would you give up your paycheck? Why would you give up your 401k and all that security? And you feel validated, but it's false. And this isn't actually a trap. If you peel back the onion on this, you're doing it intentionally because, again, you're overthinking and you have doubts, right? You've taken the gateway drug and now you're into imposter syndrome and analysis paralysis and all the things, procrastination. And now you're looking for a way to talk yourself out of this. And then you want other people to validate it. So you ask the people intentionally who you know will give you the answer that you want. So quit doing that. When you ask your friends and family and the security people, like, you're just outsourcing your fear at that point. So only ask people who are where you want to be or who have walked in your shoes. Other business owners, mentors, coaches, people who have already done it. And if you don't have those people in your circle yet, that's an action step for you. Get around those people, even if it's just one, but stop asking the wrong people. Here's a bonus because I'm feeling generous today. When it shows up, when overthinking shows up, set a timer for yourself. 5 minutes. Like, when you feel it happening, when you're about to overthink a decision, set a timer. Like, make the phone call, send the email, write a piece of copy. At the end of 5 minutes, you'll either have momentum or at least proof that nothing bad happened, because that is what holds us back, is like, we don't want anything bad to happen. And again, we can't control those things. That's you trying to control it. Remember that. But either way, you've broken the cycle. And that's what we need to do. Like, we got to kill the gateway drug. Otherwise, we're going to take the other drugs. Imposter syndrome, analysis paralysis, all the things. And then they stack up and then it's like, oh man, I've got a lot to carry here and I'm never going to clean out my garage, right? Or I'm never going to invest in the stock market. I'm never going to start that business. So here is the truth. You're not stuck. You're not. It's a feeling that you have. It's not a fact. You are not literally in a prison where you're locked and the key is thrown away and you're serving a sentence. Like, it's just a feeling that you have. The door is already open. The door to your cell is already open. You've had the key in your hand the entire time. Overthinking made you believe that you were trapped. And today, you've got the tactics to literally walk out of the cell. Stop asking the wrong people. Stop shrinking under the weight of fake certainty. Name it, move anyway. That's how you are going to break free. And if you want more help rewiring this is the exact reason that I built Mindset School. And I invite you to check it out, because until you master this piece, there is no business strategy in the entire world that will save you. But once you do, you'll become unstoppable. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.